What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and a very interesting story that we've been following on this channel was one of privilege. One of both black and famous privilege. That of world famous Rampage Jackson's son, Raja Jackson, who went into the ring and attempted to separate a white veteran from his life because he felt disrespected. This is a common excuse in specific communities to justify absolutely heinous behavior. And it's an excuse that has been given to that community by mainstream media and white, obese, liberal women generally. But now it appears some of the privilege has run out, although I would argue that he's getting off still pretty dang easy, as Raja Jackson now formally charged and faces 7 years in prison for what he did to Psycho Stu. Let's look at this story and why I think that this is, quite frankly, him getting off easy, at least in my opinion. Raja Jackson now faces 2 separate charges in the incident with Psycho Stu. And again, this is crazy. Raja Jackson faces 2 charges concerning his August attack on indie wrestlers Psycho Stu, real name Stuart Smith, that drew worldwide criticism and media attention. Well, of course it did. First reported by the LA Times late yesterday, Jackson will be charged with 1-count felony battery that caused serious bodily injury. So that was an escalator on the felony battery charge, as far as I understand, and 1-count misdemeanor battery. The attack took place at a show for Knox Pro Wrestling on August 23rd. What was originally planned spot turned into a legitimate situation with Jackson, the son of UFC legend Quentin Rampage Jackson, hurting Stu and sending him to the hospital. The attack came after Stu had struck Jackson in the head with a beer can backstage. Now, again, this was part of a work, part of a the show. It was part of the show. Prosecutors will also seek sentencing enhancement because Jackson allegedly caused Stuart Smith to suffer great bodily injury. The LA Times wrote, Smith, known as Psycho Stu in the ring, lost several teeth, suffered a laceration to his lip during the attack, which saw Jackson body slam the wrestler and then punch him repeatedly in the face more than 20 times. A criminal complaint is expected to be filed Tuesday, which it was. According to the district attorney's office, calls and emails to Jackson and his representatives were not immediately returned. It's not clear if he had retained an attorney. I am sure he has. Following the investigation by the LAPD, Raja Jackson was arrested back in September for the attack. He's out on bail now currently. Stay away from him and make sure you don't disrespect him or play with him, as he said. And will have his arraignment in court this week. Jackson was a streamer on Kick before his account was banned from the platform of the incident. Stu was released from the hospital at the end of August, but still has a long road to a full recovery. A GoFundMe campaign to help him raise more than $220,000. Probably most of that's gone from, he was, transported to the hospital. Those bills can add up. Barry Smith, YouTube star Mr. Beast, Chris Jericho, Finn Balor, don't know who any of these other people are, all donated. Knox Pro Wrestling, which is both a promotion and training school, had his WWE ID affiliation terminated after Jackson's actions. Now, just a few minutes ago, TMZ reported, I want to find this. Sorry, people are still saying, Raja Jackson stood up for himself. He was bullied by Stu. Okay. No, he wasn't bullied. Actually, I wanted to find this TMZ article quick here. Because it's newer, and he may have been arraigned by now. This is from 2 hours ago. Yeah, charged with felony battery over Psycho attack. Raja Jackson hit with multiple felonies. Court records TMZ has now obtained show Quentin Rampage Jackson's son was formally charged in LA County on Tuesday with 1 felony count of battery with great bodily injury and 1 misdemeanor count of battery on a person. Raja, who's facing up to 7 years behind bars if convicted on the felony count, is due in court for arraignment later this week. The charges obviously stem from the 23rd Jackson, who had gotten into an altercation with the wrestler just prior to the event, knocked Stu unconscious before he unleashed a flurry of punches on his face. Stu was hospitalized for several days over injuries he sustained during the incident. Raja was not immediately taken into custody, though on September 18th, police served an arrest warrant on his Orange County home and then arrested him. Here's Raja's father, Rampage Jackson, talking about it.
Fuck all that. Raja, I think that he should do a little time, do a little community service, and go to anger management class, see some therapy.
But that goes like some people said it was attempted murder and things like that. That's not a little time.
It wasn't attempted murder because he wasn't trying to kill that guy.
Yes, he was. I think he got off easy. I think he got off way too easy. I think he did. I think the charges should have been attempted murder, and then perhaps maybe they would have lowered it down to like the second charge. My concern with the fact that he only got charged with battery and then this misdemeanor is that the court is going to plea it down to just simple battery or something like that, and he's not going to do any time. That's my prediction right now, and that's why I'm concerned with the light charge. Felony battery is no joke, especially with the escalator, that the fact that it caused great bodily harm. But it's also very concerning to me that we have a situation where we know the courts are going to plea this down. They're going to say it was a first offense, and they're going to say this and that and the other thing. And he's probably going to end up doing very little, if any, real time.
How do you know?
Because that's my son. I know my son.
Oh, how do I know?
Roger wasn't trying to kill nobody. He wasn't trying to kill that.
Oh, is that true?
He wasn't trying to kill that guy.
Yes,
Roger
he was.
probably didn't even know how bad he hurt that guy.
Yes, he did. He said on the stream what he was going to do. It was a premeditated attack that is undeniable. Like literally undeniable.
He wasn't trying to kill that guy. The problem is everything got blown out of proportion, and people thought that Roger snuck into the fucking ring and did that. That's what the problem is. Like,
really,
at this point, Roger was in the act as a pro wrestler, but
no, he wasn't. Pro wrestlers don't actually punch each other at full force like that, but that's what Raja Jackson did. Raja Jackson beat that man so badly, he broke his jaw so badly that teeth were simply falling out of his face because they didn't have anything to connect to. That's how badly he beat him. I'm not saying that wrestlers don't get hurt, because they do. And I'm not saying that wrestlers don't actually, hit each other at even lightly or even hard at sometimes. But they are not throwing full untouched punches at an unconscious man. A lot of these things are being completely ignored. And that's why I'm concerned that, you still have people out here. He stood up to himself for his 500 likes. People are still running with this. Now, I don't know if Rampage has responded to this yet, the 7 years. But, Rampage Jackson started talking. Let's see. Let's go to the latest. Let's see. Rampage Jackson's son was, charged. We know that. It doesn't appear to be, Rampage hasn't spoken out about it. But, he absolutely should have been charged with attempted murder, in my opinion. Now, maybe, because he didn't premeditate to take his life or something like that, that may have been something. But 7 years in prison, if he gets the max, I think I'm okay with that. But my concern is that he's going to plea this down, because that's what happens. Raja Jackson's facing multiple years in prison if found guilty on all charges. Well, this would be, an all-time slam dunk case. What I think, again, what is most likely to happen, I'm not a lawyer, but I cover these types of things, is he's going to plead this down. This is never going to see court. He's going to plea it down to like 6 months in jail instead of prison. And, he's going to do some community service. There's just simply no chance that this guy gets the full 7 years. That's my opinion. I think also, in my opinion, if you brutally punch a man who's unconscious 20 times and only stop when other people rip you off of his motionless body, that you attempted to take his life. This is not up for debate for me, but apparently it is up to debate for people. I mean, he fractured his maxilla bone, which caused him to lose several teeth. That's how bad he was hitting him. The guy, some people reported that he stopped breathing, that he was choking on his own blood and teeth. Okay. This is, I mean, if he gets the maximum of 7 years, I mean, I suppose, but we know that woke LA County isn't going to do that. We know that money talks. We know that fame gets people off the hook. And that's exactly what's going to happen to Rajah Jackson. But, you know, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he gets the full 7 years. I think that would probably be appropriate. We'll have to wait and see if it ever goes to trial. Make sure you keep it locked in here. Subscribe or follow down below to make sure you get all the latest updates, of which I will update you when we get a trial date and any information on that. I hope you were informed by this video. Make sure you talk to me, or make sure you leave a comment and you subscribe, and we'll talk to you again real soon.